welcome to the Sports Bash pre-show. It is presented by Coastal Kitchen and Daiquiri Bar located at 12 East Main Street in Bayshore. They feature coastal-inspired food and travel-inspired drinks in a fun, friendly, and rustic atmosphere. Book a reservation by calling 631-665-3030. Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined as always by Vinny Tickets. Number to call is 631-451-1039. Good morning, Vinny.
Well, good morning, Peter.
Well, we had a very successful remote show yesterday, Sports Bash Spotlight from the St. Jude Big Daddy Celebrity Golf Outing. We had some wonderful guests on the show, even Big Daddy, and that was a great way to close the show. Big Daddy stopping by to talk about all the money that was raised yesterday. It's Cold Spring Country Club. Fantastic, friendly hospitality from everybody there yesterday, and the show was a smashing success.
The hamburgers were good, too.
I had a hamburger. I also had a hot dog.
Yes, you did.
So that was very good. Yeah, so we had a great time. Bruce Blakeman, Nassau County Executive, was a surprise opening guest for us. He wasn't even on the original schedule for that, but he was great to talk to. We talked a lot with him, and Jim Leyritz, the former Yankee, stopped by as well. So I thought it was a great day, and a lot of great people chipping in for a great cause.
Absolutely. Great day and a great cause. And I think for an on location, I think that was our biggest hit yet.
Absolutely. Chris Ganem did a wonderful job producing the show, getting everything set up.
Chris.
And we're going to be talking about another special show coming up in a couple of weeks. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit later on once we dot the I's and cross the T's on it. But stay tuned this week for details on the next live Sports Bash Spotlight coming from another big event coming up. The Subway Series is starting tonight, but we'll talk about that a little later. Wanted to start with the Stanley Cup Final, and what a game last night. The Florida Panthers win the first three, drop the next three, but they win last night 2-1. And I really didn't care who won, but I will tell you that when the Panthers got the Stanley Cup, the third player to get the cup was former Islander Kyle Oposo. So, in honor of Kyle Oposo, I brought my Islanders Kyle Oposo bobblehead here to the show today, and I'm going to leave it right in front of me for the remainder of the show. When he was drafted by the Islanders, he turned out to be a terrific player for them. I hated to see him go when he signed with the Buffalo Sabres, but congratulations to Kyle. It may have been his last game in the NHL last night, so I want to congratulate Kyle Oposo and the Florida Panthers on winning the Stanley Cup last night.
Congratulations, and Sir Stanley, I'm sure, is very happy. He'll spend a day with Mr. Oposo himself.
Absolutely. So, and it was a fantastic game. I mean, if you can't get into hockey after watching a game like that last night, I'm sorry. You have to see somebody for help like that. But anyway, Sports Bash is coming up in just a moment.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-6074-LAW. That's 631-607-4529. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. Visit their website at martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, call them at 516-509-8277. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to Vinny Tickets.
Hey, good morning, Peter.
We talked about this on the pre-show, but we had a wonderful time at the St. Jude Big Daddy Celebrity Golf Outing yesterday at Cold Spring Country Club in Huntington. Just some wonderful guests, Big Daddy with the hospitality, and just a great time. So as we welcome in our radio audience, we wanted to make sure we repeated that and just said thank you to everyone involved with St. Jude and the Big Daddy Golf Outing. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, I want to give a personal thank you, not only from us, but for all the people that he's helping, because maybe he doesn't get to see those people and meet them. And, so a special thank you out to Big Daddy for doing such a tremendous thing for society. It really is a great thing.
And as we teased on the pre-show, we'll tease it again here. We've got another big event coming up that we're going to be doing a special live Sports Bash Spotlight from. We're going to have more details on that later on this week, but it's something really, really big, and we're really excited, especially on the heels of what we did yesterday and the great event that we were able to cover yesterday. So stay tuned for that later this week. We're going to be announcing another big special show coming up. It is also a Free Ticket Tuesday, Vinny. I don't know if you knew that, but it is a Free Ticket Tuesday.
I did hear about that.
You were aware of this,
yes,
right?
Yes, I am aware.
Right. So ticketbash.com is presenting Free Ticket Tuesday today. And would you like to tell everybody what we're giving away tickets for?
Well, Bald Hill Amphitheater, and we will be giving away 2 tickets of the VIP variety for Cole Swindell.
That's on August 31st, a Saturday night at Bald Hill Amphitheater. So we're going to be giving those away later on in the show. We'll also have This Day in Sports History. But right now it is time for the Sports Bash Flash. It is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert. We will start with the Stanley Cup Final, and the Florida Panthers, for the first time in franchise history, are Stanley Cup champions. They beat the Edmonton Oilers 2-1. They were up 3-0. The Oilers came back and tied the series at 3, but the Panthers are able to squeak out the win on home ice, and it was in the second period, Sam Reinhart snapping a 1-1 tie, and the Panthers able to hold on. And boy, Vinny, the Oilers threw everything in the kitchen sink at the Panthers, but Sergei Bobrovsky stopped everything in those final couple of minutes, and they were able to hold on and win the game.
I mean, that pressure in the last 10 minutes, and I don't have a horse in the race. Like,
Right.
I really didn't care who won the game. I just wanted to see a good game. And by the way, I was flipping back and forth with the College World Series. So
I'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that next. But I will say this. I was on the edge of my seat for that last 10 minutes. When the Oilers were attacking there, it was just a barrage on and on and on. They just kept going and going and going. They were like,
I thought McDavid was going to tie it right there. He had that chance. It's the great defensive play by the Panthers to knock the puck off of his stick. And they tossed everything at Bobrovsky, and the Panthers win. Now, Connor McDavid of the Oilers, in a losing cause, was named the Conn Smythe Trophy winner as the MVP of the playoffs. That doesn't happen very often, but he had he didn't do much last night, but he had a monstrous playoff back-to-back 4-point games in the finals earlier in the series. So you can make the argument he was clearly the best player on either team. Now, Sergei Bobrovsky probably wins the Conn Smythe if the Panthers win the series in 4 or 5 games, because he was that good early on, and then he struggled a little bit. But Connor McDavid does win the Conn Smythe, and I'm sure that it's a hollow victory for him. He's been around 10 years now, first time in the Stanley Cup Final, and it's kind of like a participation trophy.
Very good point. And listen, I can't imagine there's any player in the entire league that, if you gave him the choice to get the Conn Smythe Trophy or to win the Stanley Cup, I can't imagine there's one player that would choose what he got. But I guess it's a little bit of a silver lining, but even still.
And in the case of Sergei Bobrovsky, he was the second Panther to hoist the cup and skate around with it. So Alexander Barkov, the captain, the first player from Finland to ever hoist the Stanley Cup first as a captain. So that happened. Then they gave it to Bobrovsky. And then you wondered who was going to be the third Florida Panther. And he was probably playing in his last NHL game last night. And this made me smile. This thing, you're lifting my bobblehead.
Oh,
it was Kyle Oposo, the former Islander. I'm just busting your chops, Vinny. So Kyle Oposo, the former Islander who went on to play for Buffalo and then was traded to the Panthers this season, they gave him the Stanley Cup third. And that actually, again, I didn't care, like you. I didn't have a horse in the race. I really didn't care who won the Stanley Cup. But when I saw Kyle Oposo hoist the Stanley Cup, it did make me smile. It did make me smile. He was such a good Islander, and my kids got to meet him a couple of times. My younger son Jared a little bit less, because towards his tail end with the Islanders, but Bradley got to meet him a couple of times. He was a really, really, really good guy, and I wanted to bring in my Kyle Oposo Islanders bobblehead. So let's do this. Kyle, are you happy that you won the Stanley Cup? There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes and no.
And
Yes, yes, yes.
I hit it too hard. Are you happy you won the Cup? Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Won the Stanley Cup. So we're going to keep Kyle Oposo with us here for the remainder of the show. Now to baseball. Subway Series tonight. It's the Yankees and the Mets, the Flushing portion of the Subway Series. Game 1 is at Citi Field. It's Garrett Cole against David Peterson at 7:10. And you know how, like, if you watch, like, CNBC, you watch, like, the news, the business channels, right, like that, they'll give you the stock reports, right? So I thought it would be cool when we talk about, like, big games, we could have the ticketbash.com stock report. So it's Yankees and Mets. It's a big ticket tonight at Citi Field, ticketbash.com for all of your ticket needs. What are the get-in-the-door prices tonight, and what are some of the other prices if people want to go to see the Yankees and the Mets at Citi Field tonight?
It's a really good question. Tomorrow is actually, and it's weird, I don't know why, tomorrow is a deal day. Tomorrow you could go, to go to a Subway Series for $75, get in the building, decent seat, infield, upper deck. Tonight's a little bit more. Tonight, I think to get in the door to stand, unfortunately, is $75, $80. So a decent seat in the infield upper is going to cost you between $90 and $100. The great thing about our site, ticketbash.com, you will never pay a service fee on the site. So always go online first, ticketbash.com. But tomorrow is the deal day.
Yeah.
And you could really, really, really get some great value for tomorrow night's game, Wednesday night at Citi Field.
There you go. Garrett Cole on the hill tonight against David Peterson. College World Series, I know you're smiling today. Congratulations to the Tennessee Volunteers. They beat Texas A&M 6-5 last night, and that was quite a finish.
Wow. Did you watch the game?
I did not. I was watching the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I was flipping back and forth. I had a couple of friends over to watch the game. Shout out to my friend Mike and Frank. And I will say this, when it was 6-1 late in the game, I think it was the 6th or 7th inning, you said, it's just a walk in the park. But A&M made it really interesting. Mm-hmm. They got it down to 6-5, and it turns out the winning run, you have to watch it because the winning run turns out to be a play at home plate where the runner was running for home plate, and the last second, he just kind of, I don't know how he did it. He just gyrated his body to the side and grabbed his hand in there, an amazing slide, and you didn't know it at the time because it did get him up 6-1, but that run was very pivotal.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations to Tennessee beating Texas A&M 6-5. Tonight at UBS Arena, it's the New York Liberty hosting the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Commissioner's Cup Championship game. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock, and guess who's going to the game?
WizKid?
No.
Oh,
me and the boys are going to the game
Schwartz
tonight.
Family,
yeah, well,
course.
no, Cheryl's going to take this one off.
Okay.
Cheryl's going to take this one. She's going to have a night to herself this evening. It's just me and the boys. Cheryl loves baseball, football, and she will like hockey a little bit. The basketball, I think.
She draws the line.
I think she draws the line at basketball.
Yeah.
I do think if you gun to her head, there was one time we went to a Long Island Nets game, and we sat in the first row. Okay, let's be honest. She doesn't like basketball, and that's fine. It's not for everybody. But there was one night that we went to a Long Island Nets game, and we sat in the first row courtside, feet on the floor.
On the wood.
And I think even she would admit that it was a pretty cool experience. Yeah. But tonight, it's just me and the boys going to see the Liberty. So good luck to the Liberty tonight against the Minnesota Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup Championship game at UBS Arena. When we come back on Sports Bash, we're going to have Free Ticket Tuesday. We are going to have This Day in Sports History. And we will also preview the big event coming up tomorrow, and that is Stump the Wiz. We'll talk to Wiz about that. It's all coming up. Stay with us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll have some more content through the break. We'll be back with more Sports Bash coming up right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bedford.
Welcome back to our Facebook and YouTube viewers here on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by Vinny Tickets. When we rejoin our radio audience, we're going to have This Day in Sports History, and we're also going to preview tomorrow's Stump the Wiz. And I don't know if we have a question lined up, so for those who have not sent in their question, now is a good time to do it. So you go to the Sports Bash Media X, Instagram, or Facebook page, and you private message your best trivia question for the Wiz. Try to stump them, and if you do tomorrow, they get a great prize. We don't know what that prize is just yet. We're still discussing it with the board of directors, what the prize is going to be. And I'm just wondering also, from your perspective, he's gotten a couple right now. He's on a roll a little bit, right? Do we need to have a prize for Wiz? If he gets it right, do we ever need to have a prize for him?
Well, that's a good idea. I like that idea. So maybe we'll get him a set of steak knives.
A set of steak.
If you've seen Glenn Ross, you could relate.
Instead of Ginsu knives.
Yes.
So we're going to welcome back our radio audience in a few seconds, and we're coming back with more Sports Bash. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. 631-451-1039 is the number to call. We'll take your phone calls about the Stanley Cup final last night, and congratulations again to Kyle Oposo and the Florida Panthers on hoisting Lord Stanley last night. We can also talk about the Subway Series that gets underway tonight at Citi Field, but right now it is a free ticket Tuesday. We are giving away 2 tickets to see Cole Swindell with special guests Ashley Cook and Kelsey Hart at Catholic Health Amphitheater on Saturday, August 31st. And Vinny, these are 2 VIP tickets. So what are the benefits? What are the amenities that come with the 2 VIP tickets?
Yeah, so VIP includes all of the following. It's a VIP parking pass, private VIP entrance. You don't have to wait online. Number 2. Number 3, you have access to the VIP deck. You're on a private deck area at
and a great view of the stage.
Great view of the stage, and also your own private line to get to the bar to have a drink if you so care to.
And so 2 VIP tickets to see Cole Swindell on August 31st at Catholic Health Amphitheater at Bald Hill. So this is what you have to do. You have to get your dialing fingers ready. Sebastiano is ready on the other side of the glass. He's one of the MVPs of the program because he's the person you're going to talk to try and win the ticket. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 6th call. I don't know why I picked 6 today. It was just the number that popped into my head. The 6th phone caller at 631-451-1039. That's 631-451-1039. 2 tickets to see Cole Swindell at the Bald Hill Amphitheater on August 31st. I don't know what struck me about number 6.
Yeah,
maybe I was thinking about Joe Torre.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good number.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
It's a good number. It's an even number. I really don't like odd numbers. I like even numbers. It's nice. It flows.
What is your favorite number, by the way?
22.
22. Okay.
Yeah.
Any reason for that?
Mike Bossy.
Oh, Mike Bossy. Okay.
Yeah. So There you go. So let's now have This Day in Sports History. I'm sure something unbelievably happened on this day some time ago, and we'll welcome in with that Whiz Kid Vinny.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Vin. And all this talk about hockey and the Stanley Cup happened last night. Shout out to the Florida Panthers and also my buddy Mike Ippolito. So happy you get to have a Stanley Cup champion you get to cheer for. But on this day in 1997, it was the final act of the NHL's expansion plan that they had till all the way up to 2000. And this was, of course, before the Vegas Golden Knights and the Seattle Kraken happened. And this is when they announced 4 teams would be joining from 98 to 2000. You had the Nashville Predators in 1998, the Atlanta Thrashers, who are now the Winnipeg Jets, the new ones, in 1999, and then both the Minnesota Wild and the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2000. And this was part of a whole plan for them. 91, the Sharks were added. Then following that, the Senators and Lightning. Then the Ducks and the Panthers and the 4 teams I mentioned. Here's a little interesting fact. all four of the teams to pay for entry. It was $80 million.
That's a bargain now.
It's a deal. 80 mil.
Yeah, today's money, that $80 million would be like $150 million. But by comparison, the Vegas Golden Knights had to pay $500 million for expansion rights, and the Seattle Kraken had to pay $650. There's some talk potentially that if the Coyotes come back in the league,
Well, that's not going to happen now. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, and I
Yes.
meant to put it in the update. So the board in Arizona, whatever, the deal was. So the Utah hockey team bought the hockey assets of the Arizona Coyotes. So they're going to play in Utah, and they'll name the team soon, but it won't be in time for the next season. So the Arizona Coyotes had a 5-year window. If they got a deal for an arena, they would be able to come back into the NHL. So apparently something happened in Arizona where they pulled that deal off the table, and now the Arizona Coyotes owner has walked away from it. So it's either going to be somebody else having to step up to do that, or Arizona is done in the National Hockey League.
and if not them, like Houston, maybe Atlanta can come back. Maybe third time's a charm. I don't know. And maybe just to shut them up a bit, we got to bring back the Nordiques. That'd be pretty fun.
Quebec would be nice. Quebec would be a nice return to the NHL. So they went back to Winnipeg. Why not go back to Quebec?
Yeah, why not? Or maybe even Hamilton could be a choice. But yeah, whenever there's going to be a new expansion team, you can probably bet some money that it's probably going to be a $1 billion that someone's going to spend for that. And hopefully it's a good team. I'm excited.
So we're going to ask Kyle.
That'd be good for $1 billion.
Yeah. We're going to ask Kyle Oposo, did you like this day in sports history today? There you go. You got the nod of approval from Kyle Oposo, Vin.
Stanley Cup champion Kyle Oposo.
Stanley Cup champion Kyle Oposo of the Florida Panthers last night. So we just had this day in sports history. Tomorrow is Stump the Wiz. So what we need you to do, your best sports trivia question to try and stump that guy over there. You DM, don't send it publicly because we don't want him to see the question, obviously. DM your best sports trivia question, and anything is on the table. You can send him a question about football, baseball, hockey, lacrosse, soccer, tiddlywinks, anything. He's got the answers to everything. At least he thinks he does. So you're going to DM your questions to X, Facebook, or Instagram, the Sports Bash Media page, and we'll pick a question, Vinny, right? And if that person stumps the Wiz, they get a great prize. Now, we're going to have a meeting later to determine what that prize is going to be. But we also threw out something during the commercial break for our Facebook and YouTube viewers while our radio audience was in commercial. We are so happy when he gets the answer right because it makes him happy, makes us happy. It's a good feeling when he gets the answer right. Do we think? I didn't ask you to nod in approval. I just, I'm trying to be nice to you there.
Yeah, but it is. But I did nod in approval.
Right, you do. You like Kyle Oposo. You nodded in approval. So we thought, do we need to have a prize for Wiz if he gets a question right?
Yes, I think we'll come up with something for Wiz. He's a big Met fan, so Met tickets are always on our
Met
docket.
tickets, right? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I'm down with anything really. It just to me Mets tickets. I mean, even
What
way
about
up.
a gift certificate for Coastal Kitchen? Maybe we can hook you up with a gift certificate for Coastal Kitchen.
Maybe we gotta get him on the show too. Maybe we would love to speak to the owner too. That'd be really fun.
Absolutely. But I do think, you know what, he works so hard, and you see how hard he works, and you'll see this tomorrow on the show when we put that 2 minutes on the clock. The smoke that comes out of the ears, and the
Bob Miller.
The vein, Bob Miller, right? His face turns red, and it's like it's the moment of the show. And I love doing this show. I mean, we've had so much fun, but it is now like the go-to, it's like the tune-in appointment of the week is watching him try to come up with the answer to the question.
Yeah, that's a great
I
segment.
want to do a little tease. We have a couple of minutes left. This is not an official Stump the Wiz, but in honor of the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup last night, here is a teaser Stump the Wiz, and I'm only going to give you 30 seconds to give you for the answer. The Islanders won 4 Stanley Cups from 1980 to 1983. Give me all 4 Conn Smythe Trophy winners on the Islanders, the 4 Cup years.
Billy Smith,
1.
91.
No, that's 81. But that was he.
No,
83.
no, number 91.
Okay.
Butch Goring.
That's number 2. Okay. I didn't know where he was going with the number.
Mike Bossy.
Number 3.
And I think Potvin was one.
That's incorrect.
Or I'm thinking Clark Gillies or Brian Trottier.
Trottier?
Trottier, yeah.
Is it Gillies or Trottier?
Trottier.
Trottier, number 4.
was for. Yeah,
There you go.
That
doesn't count. It doesn't count. So if you're tabulating at home,
Right. If you're keeping
right,
his
if you're keeping
average.
track, that does not count. That was just a selfish ploy on my part to mention the Islanders on the show.
So what is he, 3 for 6 right now? Is that what we
Yeah,
are?
it's 500 though.
But we need to know because we need to recalculate the average. So I think it is 3 for 6.
It's 3 for 6. It's 3 for 6.
And also, speaking with the Islanders, connecting with the Florida Panthers, they would not happen if it was not for Bill Torrey.
That's right. Bill Torrey was the original general manager of the Panthers, was part of the group that brought hockey to South Florida 30 years ago. So Bill Torrey not only had his hands all over the Islanders dynasty, but he helped build the Florida Panthers. Remember, they went to the Stanley Cup final a couple of years into their history, went to the final last year, lost to Vegas, and now they finally win the Stanley Cup. So early bird specials are on the Florida Panthers, I guess, in Florida today. So they're all celebrating, walking through the streets of Sunrise, Florida, and Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood, and they're celebrating. They don't know what to do. They've never seen, the only thing they've seen silver is a sterling silver piece of memorabilia at the flea markets there in Florida. So, but congratulations to the Florida Panthers. Thanks to everybody for watching and listening to the show. We're presented by Ticketbash.com, also sponsored by Embassy Diner, Falcone Law Firm, Marty Lyons Foundation, and Collaborate Studios. Don't forget, stay tuned. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, it's Stump the Wiz Day on Sports Bash, presented by Ticketbash.com.